Weiner. Sorry about the smell. Usually they wait till I'm done speaking before they say that. But it was really awesome. Everybody who came, I signed their books. Thanks for coming. Sorry about the smell. So I'm thrilled to be here. And I want to start by saying I know I'm kind of a slightly freakish choice for this presentation. While I have been happily published by a trio books, a division of Simon & Schuster, for 12 years and 10 books, I am not a publisher, although I am happy to try to make shit up if you want to ask about how publishers do things. A reading, a visit to a book club, or if you were Richard Ford spitting on a critic at a party. Authors, I couldn't find a picture of that, I tried. Authors really did not have an avenue for interacting with their critics or their readers. If an author had something to say, she'd say it in her next book. We had three separate spheres: critics, authors, and readers. All of them were talking. None of them could talk to each other. So, in Oprah's day, blogging existed as a corrective. It filled in the blanks that mainstream critics ignored, considering the books and genres that were beneath them, pointing out what the mainstream was covering badly or missing entirely. And bloggers continue to serve this role in different and dazzling ways.
The book world is so welcoming and inviting, and you guys work together. It's so foreign to me. I have to thank my awesome publishers, Little Brown, who have been an absolute dream to work with in the process. It's great. Sometimes I'll say to people that are on my team that are not part of the book world, say, wow, they work with us. First one, Chris, tell us about your book. Will there be singing and dancing in it? No. That would be kind of hard. Unless every page was like a Hallmark, card saying. But no singing and dancing in the book. And what's it about then? Well, it's about two twins, Connor and Alex, who fall into a magical book and end up in the fairy tale world, and they have all these adventures with the fairy tale characters they grew up reading about. Is it autobiographical? No. I am one person.
They were the way into believing that other people were really real, in the same way that I was real. Because I have no outside evidence of that. But encountering in stories the real lives of other people allowed me to be inside of their heads in a way that I can never be inside the head of any real person. Even a real person I care about very, very much. The thing about books is that because they are composed out of text, because there's this act of translation that one has to do when reading, because I have to turn these meaningless scratches on a page into ideas that exist inside my head, I become the co-creator of the story when I read the story in a way that I don't become the co-creator of any other kind of medium, which is precisely why reading takes concentration, and it takes focus, and it is an activity that you can't do while you do other things. It's a very unpopular kind of activity these days. Thyroid cancer, which I qualify, thank God, in none of those categories. Particularly the 16-year-old part. Sorry, 16-year-olds, but I don't want to be you ever again. I think that is the gift that both reading and writing can give us, is the gift of escaping the prison of ourselves. That's not a gift that Angry Birds can give us. And the gift that you as booksellers give us is the opportunity into those worlds that will create better lives for people. I believe that books will survive and thrive and grow in this media-drenched universe precisely because we are different. Yes, it is true that a good book asks more of you than Angry Birds, but books also offer much more in return. And that's why we're going to keep going to bookstores, and that's why we're going to keep reading books. We aren't going to be angry birds.
And it said, if you were born on this date, in 1937, or on any date earlier than that, you do not need to take off your shoes. And it was puzzling because I fell into that category. I was a security attendant. I said, I don't need to take off my shoes. And she said, are you 75 or older? I said, yeah. She said, no, you don't need to take off your shoes. But I just sat here and did the math. And Chris Colfer has to take off his shoes for the next 53 years. This is not the first time I've spoken at this breakfast. I spoke at this breakfast way back in 1987, 25 years ago, when this convention had a different name, and it was in a different place, Washington, D.C.